In this mathcast, we continue to show how to use GeoGebra to do linear programming. Our constraints here are x greater than or equal to 0 and y greater than or equal to 0, 6x plus y greater than or equal to 34, x plus 4y greater than or equal to 44, x plus y less than or equal to 25, and our objective function, which we need to minimize for calories, is 100x plus 115y. Let's see how to do this with GeoGebra. Our first two constraints are x greater than or equal to 0 and y greater than or equal to 0, so that means we're limited to areas in the first quadrant. Let's move on to the third, fourth, and fifth constraint. The third constraint is 6x plus y is greater than or equal to 34. So we're going to type that in as an equality in the input bar. We click down here in the input bar, and then we type 6x plus y equals 34, just like we did before. And there's our line there. The fourth inequality is x plus 4y is greater than or equal to 44. And we'll type that in as x plus 4y and then equals 44 and hit enter. Now we see that it's up there in the algebraic view, so it's out there somewhere. We're going to have to zoom. Let's type in our fifth constraint, which is x plus y less than or equal to 25. So we type in x plus y equal to 25. So we have first quadrant and these constraints. So let's zoom out. We put our mouse button in the drawing pad and roll up, and we can see our lines. And we take the move drawing pad and move down towards the first quadrant. We may zoom out a little bit more so that we get a good look at the area that we have. So these are our three lines. Let's color them so that we can immediately tell which one is which. So we right click, properties, make that one red and a little thicker. Make the second one thicker than blue. Then make the third one green and thicker. So now we can see which one is which. So this is A. This was our third constraint. We had 6x plus y is greater than or equal to 34. 0, 0 is not on any of these lines, so we can use it as our test point. So our question would be, is 0 plus 0 greater than or equal to 34? The answer is no. So we don't shade towards 0, 0. We shade on the opposite. So we're going to be shading up this way. Let's zoom out a little bit more. And let's look at the blue line. We have x plus 4y is greater than or equal to 44. We need to test 0, 0 in that one. And is 0 plus 0 greater than or equal to 44? The answer is no. So we're going to be shading not towards 0 with the blue line, but above 0 with the blue line. And the last one is x plus y is less than or equal to 25. We test 0, 0 in that one. Is 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 25? And the answer is yes. So we're going to be shading towards 0, 0 with the green line. So let's get all our points in here and do that shading. So we need the intersection points on the first line, the intersection points on the second line, the intersection points on the third line, and let's get the intersection points of all three of these. So this point here, this point here, and this point here. So those are all our intersection points between the lines and the first quadrant and between the lines themselves. So how are we going to shade? Let's get our polygon tool here. We said that the red line we're going to shade up. Well, we're going to go like this, A, and then we're just going to pick a point that's far out, up at 60. Pick a point way over here at 60, 80, let's say. Pick a point way down here at 60. And then we have to come back to A, to the line A, and back to point A. And immediately I'm going to make that red. So I'm going to right click, properties, and make it red so it matches the line. Okay. The next one is the blue line. Blue line we were also shading up. So we get our polygon tool, and now we've got points for there. We take the first line on the blue, go up to that point that we've already done, over here, over to here, back to blue, and over to the first blue point. And where is that so we can get it by itself? That's over here. So right click and we make that blue right away. And then our third line is the green, but it's shaded down towards here. So we're going to need this point down here. So let's get our intersection tool and make that point there. And we need the green point here, the green point here, M, and back there. And again, we're going to immediately make that green. So there's poly 3, right click, properties, and green. And I like to turn off all these segments. There's a very easy way to do it. Just right click on any point, and I just go to segment right there where it says segments, to the basic, and I say turn off all those objects. And everything is nice and clean. And I can see that this is the area that I'm working on. So what points am I interested in? G, H, and I. So we're going to make those a little bit bigger. We're going to go do the same thing we did. We're going to right click on this, go to properties, and now we're going to go to points. First we're going to make them all kind of small. And then we're going to take G and make it bigger, H and make it bigger, and I and make it bigger. This is just decoration. And we can see that we're working on these 3 points. Okay, now we're down to the regular thing. Test the 3 points that we've got here in our area in our objective function. So what was our objective function? 100x plus 115y. So, and it was for calories. So we're going to say CA. And, no, not CA, CG equals 100 times x of g plus 115 times y of g. And before we hit enter, we remember to press Shift, Home, and Control C so we don't have to retype that. Now hit enter. And we see that at G our calories are 1,550. Okay, we're still in the input bar. Control V. What was the other ones? We needed I. Press caps lock because we need get rid of that. Just press delete. I and I and hit enter. And that's more calories by far, 2,848. And our last one is point H. So go in here and get H everywhere. I just leave caps lock on so then I don't have to worry about capitals. There's for CH, and it's even more. It's almost 2,600. So we're minimizing this function, remember. So we get our minimum at G. And we have a minimum of 1,550 calories if we use, what is G? Where's G? Down here. 4 tablespoons of butter and 10 tablespoons of, I think it was margarine, shortening. Right. So now let's zoom out to make everything look properly shaded. Put our mouse pointer in the drawing pad. Pull the scroll button towards us. Pick up the move drawing pad tool, and there we are. So in summary, we have this result, and we want to thank you for listening to this Mathcast.